If you're caring for an aging parent, a spouse, or a loved one at home, the government can pay you for it, up to $3,000 a month, and in many cases completely tax-free. Most families never claim a single dollar. Stay with me all the way to number 6, because that's the one almost everyone gets completely backwards. Let's start with the biggest one, the program that pays more family caregivers than any other, Medicaid's self-directed care. You may hear it called consumer-directed care, participant-directed services, or cash and counseling. Same idea, a different name in every state. Here's how it works. When your parent qualifies for Medicaid and needs help at home, Medicaid doesn't force them to hire a stranger from an agency. It lets them hire and direct their own caregiver. And that caregiver can be you, their son, their daughter, in many states, even a spouse. All 50 states offer some version of this. That's the part families miss. They assume you have to be a licensed aide. You don't. Medicaid pays you the going-home aide wage in your area, based on an assessment of how much care your parent actually needs, often between $15 and $25 an hour, sometimes more in high-cost states. Take a daughter in Ohio caring for her father full-time. Once he qualified and she enrolled as his paid caregiver, the same work she'd been doing for free became roughly $2,000 a month coming in. Now here's the mistake that costs families thousands. They look at their parents' Social Security check, decide we make too much to qualify, and never even apply. But the 2026 limits are higher than most people think. Up to $2,982 a month for a home care waiver, with a $2,000 asset limit that, in most states, does not count the house they live in. So before you assume you don't qualify, call and ask. The exact words are self-directed care. Number 2, and this one pays some of the highest tax-free money of all, structured family caregiving. This is a Medicaid benefit for caregivers who live in the same home as the person they care for. If your mom moved in with you or you moved in with her, this is built for you. Here's why it's powerful. The money is completely tax-free. It comes as a daily stipend, and you also get a coach and support from an agency, so you're not doing this alone. In 2026, structured family caregiving is available in 11 states: Connecticut, Georgia, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Missouri, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, Rhode Island, and South Dakota. Write those down. If you live in one of them and you're caring for a parent under your roof, you are leaving money on the table if you haven't applied. How much? Medicaid pays a provider agency a daily rate, and generally 50 to 65% of that flows straight to you, the caregiver. Depending on the state and the level of care, that can add up to well over $1,000 a month untaxed. Here's the mistake. Families assume that because there's an agency involved, the agency keeps the money. It doesn't. The agency's job is to support you and handle the paperwork. The stipend is yours. The other mistake is not living in the same home. The whole program requires it, so if you're planning the move anyway, understand that where your parent sleeps can decide whether you qualify. Call your state Medicaid office and say the words, "Structured Family Caregiving." And remember, number 6 is the one almost every family gets backwards, so don't drift off before we get there, because it changes how you use every program on this list. Number 3 is for a group that earns the most and claims the least: military families. If the person you care for is a veteran, the VA runs the Program of Comprehensive Assistance for Family Caregivers, PCAFC for short, and the money is serious. In 2026, the monthly stipend runs from about $1,898 in rural areas up to roughly $3,792 a month in high cost of living areas, every dollar of it tax-free. And it doesn't stop at the check. As a primary family caregiver, you also get health insurance if you don't already have coverage, up to 30 days a year of respite care so you can actually rest, and mental health counseling. Here's what families get wrong. They think only a spouse can be the caregiver, or that the veteran has to be elderly. Neither is true. An adult child, a parent, even a close family friend living with the veteran can qualify, and the veteran can be any age. What matters is the level of care they need for a service-connected condition. They also assume the injury had to come from combat. It didn't. If you're caring for a veteran and you've never looked into PCAFC, that could be over $30,000 a year, tax-free, that your family has simply never claimed. Go to caregiver.va.gov or call the VA Caregiver support line and ask to start a PCAFC application. Number 4 is the invisible wall that stops more families than anything else: the income and asset limits and the myths around them. Here's the number that scares people off. To qualify for most of these home care programs in 2026, your parent generally needs to be under $2,982 a month in income for a Medicaid waiver, with only $2,000 in countable assets. People hear $2,000 in assets and give up on the spot. Don't, because the word that matters is countable. In almost every state, the home your parent lives in does not count, up to a generous equity limit. One vehicle usually doesn't count. Personal belongings and household goods don't count. Certain prepaid burial funds don't count. So a parent who owns their house and has a modest amount in the bank can very often still qualify. Families just never find out, because they self-disqualify before they ever pick up the phone. The other mistake is giving away money or the house to get under the limit right before applying. Medicaid looks back 5 years, and a rushed transfer can trigger a penalty that delays coverage for months. If your parent is close to the limits, that is exactly the moment to talk to your area agency on aging or a Medicaid planner before you move a single dollar. The limits are real, but they are not the brick wall most families think they are. And assuming you're over without checking is how the money quietly slips away. Number 5 is the front door almost nobody uses correctly: your area agency on aging, plus the benefits that stack on top of it. Every county in America has an area agency on aging, a free government-funded office whose entire job is to connect families like yours to exactly these programs. One phone call there can point you to the right Medicaid program, respite funding, and caregiver support in your specific state, instead of you guessing. And there's more money stacked around the edges. A growing number of states now have paid family leave programs that let you take paid time off from your job to care for a seriously ill parent or spouse. Check whether your state is one of them. At tax time, if you provide more than half of your parents' support, you may be able to claim them as a dependent, and the credit for other dependents can be worth up to $500. If you pay for care so that you can work, the Child Independent Care Credit can apply to an adult dependent too. Here's the mistake. Families call one office, get one no, and quit. These programs live in different agencies that don't talk to each other, so a single no means almost nothing. When you call the Area Agency on Aging, use these exact words: self-directed care, consumer-directed services, and cash and counseling. Then ask directly, how do I get paid to care for my family member? The people who ask that question by name are the ones who get connected to the money. And now number 6, the one almost everyone gets backwards. When you hear new 2026 law that pays families to care for seniors, you picture a brand new check, a new program that just started mailing money out. That's not what happened, and that's exactly why families miss it. The money was already there. What's actually new in 2026 is that the government is finally making the pay rates public. Under the federal Medicaid Access Rule, starting in July 2026, every state must publish its Medicaid home care payment rates out in the open, on a public schedule, for anyone to see. For the first time, before you ever apply, you can look up what your state actually pays a caregiver for personal care, homemaker services, and home health aid work, in real dollars. Why does that change everything? Because for years, the number one reason families never applied was that they had no idea the pay was real or worth the trouble. The rate was buried. You had to already be inside the system to find out. Now it's out in daylight. And there's a second piece coming. The same rule will eventually require that at least 80% of those Medicaid home care dollars go to the actual caregiver, not to overhead, which means more of that money reaches your pocket. So the counterintuitive truth is this: the new law isn't a new handout. It's a new spotlight on money your family could have been claiming all along. The families who understand that in 2026 will finally see the number, apply with confidence, and get paid. The ones who keep waiting for a check to just show up in the mailbox will keep missing it. So here's the truth to hold on to. Caring for someone you love does not have to mean going broke doing it. The programs are real, the money is real, and in 2026 it's finally out in the open. Here's your one step this week. Call your area agency on aging or dial 211 and say these exact words: I want to get paid to care for my family member. How do I start self-directed care? Make that one call before the week is out. If this helped you or someone you love, subscribe and share it with your family. Because the ones who find out in time are the ones who get paid.